who is the original author, right? If you are interested in painting and if you have painted something, and that automatically becomes your copyright. Okay, nobody can take away those rights from you because you are the original author of that work, original owner of that work. There is no question about it. That is your copyright. But why this concept of copyright has come into this existence is because that if that painting of yours will be used or misused by someone else without your permission, then that constitutes to copyright violation. That is where you have to have some rights to stop them to misuse that without your permission. That is where the concept of copyright in the legal jargon plays an important role. Otherwise, whatever, if you write a poem for yourself, it will be your copyright. But if that poem is to be, it has been published by someone else, made copies and sold, say 1 million copies have been sold, and he had become a billionaire out of selling your copyrighted work, then if you have to stop that illegal work against your original work, then the concept of copyright comes. For that, you need to go to the copyright office and put an application there, get it registered on your name, and then you will be given some period of time to execute those exclusive rights to exclude others to use this. So that is the actual concept of copyrights. Okay. So one more thing that regarding copyright I would like to clarify is that you cannot copyright any ideas. If you are thinking about writing a poem in your it is in your head and you are still thinking about it and you have not converted it into a physical form, then there is no rights over that. But for that idea to be having some place in the legal world, you need to convert it into a fixed form. Whether it is to be written on the paper or printed on paper or saved and on the computer as a reproducible copy or file. So then those will be having the rights over that. Okay. So these two are the important things. Originality of authorship and ideas cannot be copyrighted unless they are fixed into some form. Okay. Yeah. And international conventions, if we see at the international level, lot of discussions, arguments, counter arguments, bringing all countries onto a common platform. This has been going on over the years, and since the Berne Convention that has started in 1886 in relation to the copyrights, several amendments have happened and still are going on because the society is changing, the world is changing. And so we have to pick up to that extent. Okay. So in India, we have been following the British kind of Copyright Act, that is from 1911 and 1957. It goes on after several amendments. And the most important rights that are associated with the copyright for the copyright owner is that the economic rights and the moral right. If you have written a book, then you assign your rights to some publisher and he makes say 1 million copies and they are sold in the market, you will get royalties out of it. That is the economical rights that are associated with these copyrights. And being an owner or original author of that copyright, the moral right is bestowed in you, that being an owner of that, you can raise the issue of copyright infringement or violation. If something is happening, you can bring it to the notice of the publisher and they'll take a legal action and all. So these are the two important rights that are associated with copyrights. And the criteria for copyright selection or grant or registration is the examiner looks for the originality of that, and it must not be the copy of another work. Okay. And there are some other rights, derivative rights, like if I found a book in German and I want to translate it into Hindi, then you have to take some written permission from that original author. And all these converting, like Chetan Bhagat's books were converted into movies, many of them had come. So these are all derivative rights, but still they have the copyrights. Like we sit on the couch and see IPL matches on day in and out. You can imagine how many bundle of rights that are associated with that. communication rights, broadcasting rights, and everything, media rights, everything is associated with one activity. So it is the what I want to convey to this group is that whatever you think which you think is little different from others, then you have every chance or opportunity to protect it by way of any intellectual property right. Okay. And what are the rights that are associated with copyright owner? They can reproduce their works, they can prepare their derivative works, and they can distribute copies, and they can perform or display the public work publicly. Like if you have written a song, you can sing it before the audience. That is your work. You, as an original author, you can do anything with that. Like हमारे घर है, that is our property, physical property. We can live in that, we can rent it out, we can mortgage, and we can abandon it. Whatever we want to do, we can do with that, because that is our property. Similarly, these copyrights, trademarks, patents all come under the IP right, intellectual property rights, where you can use these as assets. Okay. Yeah, what constitutes a copyright infringement? This is more important for this group, and I have taken some pictures here. Okay, so all these pictures, if you see, at the bottom, I don't know if you can see from the back, these three are common in every picture that I have taken from it. Why did I do this? Because I don't want to claim in front of you that these pictures have been taken by me or from my camera. I want to show that by giving the acknowledgements and the courtesy that these people have brought these pictures, and I am just using these pictures and acknowledging the hardships by the original author or owner. Okay, so that is most important. If you are a science researcher and you are going to make a manuscript out of it, then it becomes very important and pertinent for you to acknowledge the others. You give references, which parts you have taken from which manuscript or which reference or a prior art document that is associated with it. So these are the important aspects coming to the copyrights issues. And there was a recent case about monkey selfie case. John Slater was a wildlife photographer, and he was traveling to these Sulawesi Islands in Indonesia, and he was taking pictures, and he got tired and placed his camera somewhere and went out for a break. When he came back, then he could see that a group of monkeys were meddling with his camera, and one of the monkeys had actually clicked a selfie out of it unknowingly, and he was so thrilled about this, and then he started selling this selfie that was taken by monkey. And in Wikipedia, the Wikimedia, what is name of Wikipedia, they have also started selling that on their website. So then John Slater objected for this. How can you sell those pictures taken by from my camera without taking my permission? So that was the whole issue, and it went into courts, and PETA, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, they jumped in, and all these issues were going on, and finally a legal battle had been ensued, and then they said that the judgment came out that the rights cannot be given to non-humans. So monkey being a non-human primate, so it cannot be having any exclusive right over its work. And since it has been generated out of the camera which has been owned by that photographer, he can have a copyright out of this. So this was the whole issue. So you should be very careful about using someone else's work and using without their permission. These are the two important aspects this group has to understand. Using anybody's work, claiming as it is yours, then that constitutes to plagiarism. You cannot do that. You should be very careful about using about others' works. And using someone else's work without their permission is copyright violation. So whatever you want to do, you do it transparently, openly, saying that this particular part of my manuscript is coming from that reference. That is more than enough. Then you can put your claims. Okay. This is all about, I want to show or tell about these copyrights. And I would like to switch into IP part, the patent part, which is more important for this group.
Yeah, you can take time because my presentation